Here we go. Welcome to Before the Green. We are fresh out of Phoenix and so excited for the episode, and we appreciate you tuning in. I'm Marilee. I am actually an original member of this cast. Got kicked off once I got cancer, but they're letting me come back tonight just for a little visit. And I'm here with who I have deemed in my life the NASCAR triplets, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Okay, we didn't kick you off. We just said we're not covering your medical.
I live in Canada, Donnie.
So is that how you get kicked off the podcast? Because
She kicked herself off. Anyway,
hi, I'm Corey.
Hi, Corey.
this isn't AA. You went one time with Mom.
Are we going back to the original jokes too?
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like
It's a reward for
2022.
long-time listeners.
And our recovery's gone well, so we can joke about it now.
Yeah. Similar to your cancer. My name is Evan, and I'm the sibling that was there through the cancer, and
Please.
really had a big role in the recovery.
You had a big role in everything.
It's just big roles, period.
All right.
And you
So-
are?
Oh, so I thought I already did it. So we've done this 19
You did a
times
few
now.
times.
yeah, this
All right. My name is Don. This is my last episode, and I am your back-to-back points champion. And yeah, that's
I
where
like
we're at.
how you make fun of Corey for his name being spelled like a girl's, but like you're literally DAWN.
DON.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, well, we're all back
All right,
together
fine.
for
My
the
name
final
is
episode.
Donald, and
Is
no,
that
I'm not an
actually-
84-year-old man, but I'm just
is
named
that your actual name, Donald?
Yes.
I did not know that. I just thought it was
Trump's a lot of other names.
Donnie. Good one.
All right, Manly, I'm sorry I interrupted you. You want to take us to NASCAR?
No. I'd like to pick any other topic, but we will.
All right.
So,
No, wait. What do you want to talk about? We're here.
Probably about herself.
please.
It was only like
Talk
3
about
seconds. She dropped. She had cancer. Like, come on.
Actually, though, one of the ramifications of the cancer surgery is I actually can't sing anymore, so I probably won't bring as much joy to the podcast.
What do you mean anymore?
Yeah. No, I can't. Like,
Yeah, I don't
Physically-
think that was any different before.
I wasn't a good singer before.
Show us what you mean.
No, I can't get any range. Okay, let's talk after the checkers. So, Christopher Bell,
Tell Evan who won the race. He's not sure
Oh.
yet.
Jen Hunter
true.
Nemechek pulled through with the win pick again. Christopher Bell steals the show again this week, going 3 for 4 by winning in Phoenix. Is it too early to call him the championship favorite? I really want to know. Do tell.
Absolutely
think,
not.
Donnie?
100% he's a championship favorite. Guy's on pace to win 27 races. Like,
Yeah, but
I mean, I know I'm a fan, so I might be a little biased, but truthfully, I don't know if we're ever going to lose again.
okay.
I can say with 100% confidence he will lose again, but I'm not sure when, but it will happen this season. But yeah, no, definitely a championship favorite. You can't win 3 out of 4 and not be, so
I mean, it's starting promising for sure.
I mean, a lot of guys don't win 3 races in the whole season, let alone the first 4 races, so I mean, pretty wild.
Yeah, now he just has to avoid the downfall of like Denny last year and Byron last year,
Byron.
right? So
I think,
Um,
honestly, Bell's won more this month than Alex did all last year.
And the year before.
Just
You'll
a
have
fun
to refresh
fact.
my memory. Who's Alex?
yeah, Bowman. But I will say this: here's if I'm a competitor with Christopher Bell, I think
You're
what
not.
scares me the most is it's not like, oh, these were 3 mile-and-a-halves or these were 3 ovals at all. Like this was an oval, like your standard mile-long track.
And
a
Coda.
road course, and a speedway. So there is no lack of skill anywhere right now. The team seems to be meshing. Other than Briscoe and Ty Gibbs, JGR seems to be kind of catching their step. It's
so half the drivers are doing good, but they're catching their step with half their drivers. Like,
well,
I don't know. I don't think as a whole they're doing that great, but
hear me out, okay? Ty Gibbs is in his own thing right now. Briscoe, if it hasn't been for bad luck, it's hard to say where he's been running, right?
half the race is nowhere to be found yesterday. So
don't get me wrong, he's still got James Small as a crew chief.
I was wondering where that wonderful winner went. Is that where you're talking about bad luck?
Yeah, that's his bad luck. He's got stuck with James Small. Yeah, so I mean, I think
we got to give Briscoe a little bit of time to get used to the car, I suppose. But and honestly, Denny yesterday was the first time he's shown up, but we'll see. I'm not sold on JGR right now, but
it only won 75% of the races.
I mean, Christopher Bell. Yes, I'm sold on Christopher Bell. It just seems like if you're part of the team, how are you that far beyond your teammates? Like, I mean, you don't
the greatest driver in NASCAR.
Oh, that might be so, which is debatable. But like HMS, you usually see the four guys like race around each other. Like they're good at certain tracks, and other tracks they're not. Like there just seems to be a really big what's the word? Discrepancy.
Okay,
between
you got Briscoe his first year in the car, and you got
I get that
his third season. Like,
yeah, but Ty Gibbs is something's off with that kid.
Yeah, like there's something going on there.
Yeah,
and I don't think Joe's going to be the type that's going to pull the plug on his own grandson. So I think that's just going to end up being a car that.
Well, the other thing is, like, to make that even worse, I don't think he ever was, but now he's like the only direct descendant that Joe has.
Yeah.
Right? Like from his boys, right? Like, I know that sounds harsh, but I don't think that made him more likely to pull him out of the car.
I think he should sit down with him and be like, hey, I'm going to pull you out of the car, even if he has no intention of it. Like, someone's going to light a fire under Ty Gibbs. Like, there's no excuse for him to be running in the 30th for the last, 8 races. Like, it's just wild.
I mean, the kid's talented enough, too. Like, it isn't like he doesn't have talent.
Exactly.
I think he just got to figure out what's going on. And he does have a new crew chief. Like,
that's true, too, actually. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
And doesn't he know that Kevin's his biggest fan?
I think everyone
we don't want to
knows
put the guy down too much. Like, come on.
You mean Ty or Kevin?
Ty.
Dump on Kevin all you want, twice.
Yeah.
All
right. Very quickly, let's talk about women instead. So Catherine Legge comes to Phoenix for her. What?
It's just leg.
Well, you said it differently earlier.
Yeah, I was wrong.
I miss Chris Boucher. Catherine Legge comes to Phoenix for her Cup Series debut. Since it was International Women's Day on Saturday, how do you feel her debut was reflective of that? Is that the reason she was there?
That's the only reason,
years.
Definitely a DEI hire at this point.
Yeah, she had no business being in that track yesterday, so...
I don't know. I thought she was driving like a woman.
So let's go ask Daniel Suarez.
Just kidding.
The one time Suarez doesn't swerve.
Right?
I felt like it was such a delayed reaction. No. Here's my issue. I feel like there is, at some point in the future, going to be a woman in our sport that's competitive. Right? Like, I do think that time is potentially going to happen. But until that time, can we stop putting women that aren't qualified in these cars? Like, it sets them back as far as now, like, there's that much more of a negative perception for the next young female that comes up into our sport. You know, when we put a 44-year-old
44,
woman,
yeah.
I believe
44.
She was 44, making her debut.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bad look for the sport. And she's
explaining NASCAR to women is a bad luck.
But she spun on her own, right? Which, like, 4 or 5 laps in was a bad enough look. But then she took out a competitor, you know,
Talking about Suarez.
on his optional tires when he
He
did
was
that.
running well yesterday. Like, I'll
And,
give him that.
like,
He was up there yesterday.
Is there a lot of women in like I want to say, is it the farm teams? So like Arca and
There's some.
Toyota's
Yeah.
got a couple women racing something, don't
Yeah.
they?
But
Yeah,
there's-
so they'll be in Ford soon.
so where did Catherine come from?
Everywhere
UK.
but NASCAR.
Yeah, and like it's just wild.
And
It
like,
just-
don't get me wrong, she's raced Xfinity. I think she said trucks and ARCA at one point or another, but like just
Not
like one
recently?
or two races. Yeah, like
Okay.
I mean, her car was a mess, though. Like, it was tight as could be. Like, it's, she lost the back end on it just driving the track. Like, it's not like she's some talentless hack. Like,
Right.
she's behind the wheel. She didn't have good equipment. And,
But
it's,
for
But I
someone
think-
never hearing ever before, why are you putting yourself, or why are they even putting her in that position for people to think she's a talentless hack? Like,
I
I've
heard-
never heard
like-
of her before, so now it's like, well, she sucks. So it's just a bad look for everybody, in my opinion. But
I mean, it brings more eyes onto the sport. Like,
Yeah,
And
but
I
I think
mean,
I would agree with Evan in that sense of like it brings more eyes, but then it leaves a negative taste in your mouth for a female in the sport. But then like, why is she getting bad quality equipment? Well, like, I'm not saying it's all on her because she wasn't good, but like, why is the
well,
thing
because there's
stacked
no
against her?
openings in Joe Gibbs or Hendricks or, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just walk in and get a Penske car. But, yeah. I
But
don't
it's
know.
not
Like, I
not
just
even
think-
that she's a woman. Like, look who they let in Daytona there. Can't remember his name right off, but he was
Dario Franchitti.
yeah.
No.
Like, why are we letting these guys who've never really been in a cup
That is
car
not who it
before
was.
race with the? No, it was like
Helio
yeah,
Castroneves.
that's it. Yeah,
Sorry, I picked
I
the
mean,
wrong
like, if
Indy
you're going to
driver.
throw the argument back, why does IndyCar let our guys go over? You know
It's
what I
true,
mean? Like,
though.
Larson didn't win.
he went through a lot of training though to get there.
That
Like,
is
he had to
true.
go through qualifying. He had to go through practices. Like, it was like a 6-month process. Did she even run a lap? Like, I just
Well,
don't get it.
even if she did, it was only 45 minutes the
Yeah,
day
like-
before. Like, it's. I will say that is a valid point. We don't have practice anymore.
Mhm.
I don't think Cup Series is where guys should be coming to try it out. Like, put them in Xfinity, give them a couple laps there at least before they
Or
in
a race
recent-
or ARCA or something. Like, just
anything.
that's- Yeah.
Well, like, that's the thing. Like, the viewership on ARCA, the viewership on Xfinity doesn't come close to what it does on Sunday. So, I mean,
I agree.
you want at the end of the day, it is a business, and NASCAR is all about money and how much they can hoard. Like, I'm not happy at all how NASCAR runs things by any means, but, you want to put eyes on the screen. That's basically what she was there for. And like I said, it's not like it was some woman that, won a raffle out of the stands and jumped in the car. Like, she
Actually, that could be interesting.
For all we know, she might have.
she doesn't have a leg to stand on.
No.
I don't know. I think if you look at Formula One, they're not letting anyone in there, right? It doesn't matter who you bring a sponsorship
Yeah, I mean,
or
you need
whatever,
special license and
right? Like,
It's the top tier of that car, same as how NASCAR is supposed to be the top tier of the sport. And like, for just letting any random come drive, it doesn't make sense to me.
yeah.
not only letting them drive, if they can't qualify, we'll make a special position if they're famous. enough.
Exactly. And like,
Yeah.
I don't like Daniel Suarez, but you got to feel for the guy. Like, she ruined his race just because she's not
The only time
qualified.
Corey will ever take
No,
Suarez's side.
100%.
A woman comes into the sport.
100%. But
There's only one
No,
thing I
not because
hate
she's
more
a
than
woman,
Suarez,
just-
and that's women drivers.
just because you need talent behind the wheel at this level of the sport, in my opinion.
I will say, if Helio had have taken Suarez out, I'm sure Corey would have said something similar.
Yeah.
You know,
She's
Yeah.
a British professional auto racing driver.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, she's used to going the opposite way on the track.
She holds the record for the fastest qualifying effort for a woman in Indianapolis 500 history.
Great. She can't drive a stock car.
or she failed at it yesterday. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
I mean, again, put her through some, qualify to get to where you're supposed to be. I don't know.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate on this one, but you boys
Well,
are
you
right.
always do.
So
Sorry, I'm still reading about this girl.
Oh, that's great, Mary Lee. We're just
Would you like the next question?
yeah, that'd
yeah,
be
I'm
great.
back.
At least Kevin plays Minecraft.
Yeah.
Please. I'm on topic. All right. The option tires. That's what you want to talk about next.
Yeah.
I hear
Do
they
that.
were back this week. I did hear at some point announcers say only one person was on them. So how did you feel about the option? I'm sure that didn't continue. That was one time I heard the TV.
That was like the first of the race.
Yeah. How do you feel about the option tire races? What are the option tires for those of us who don't know? Didn't you miss me?
So the option tire, essentially, they come with two different compounds. They come with the regular compound, which are stiffer, last longer, and aren't as fast. And then they have
an optional one.
They have an optional tire that is softer, faster, but wears out more. So the speed doesn't last as long, but if you get the right amount of laps, it helps. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what you guys think? Thanks.
In my opinion, they made Phoenix a good race yesterday, so you got to give them a thumbs up in that regard. I don't love how the guys just always use the same strategy. What I'd like is just to have the option tire run the whole race instead of having two different kinds, because the tire wears great. It's going to make guys, that's what we want, is a tire that wears off and guys have to know how to drive with them. So, and I think that's what they are going towards. I think their goal is to have the championship race in Phoenix with the option tire. But that's
anytime we can get them down at pit road more on green flags and actually, I say that, but then that also, you hate to see a pit crew just completely ruin it for a guy. I know it's a team sport, but I mean, we very much focus on the drivers, so I could see it going a complete mess the other way too.
Yeah.
I actually like the mixture.
The thing I didn't love is Joey there. Well, we're actually not even talking about that, but after his penalty there for the restart,
for cutting or down low too quick.
His only chance to get back to the front again was to put the option tire on. And when you only have two sets, well, at the end of the race, he didn't have a prayer. There was no chance of him winning that race because he had already used his, which I get strategy, you gotta, but at the same time, you kind of want the guys who are good to be able to run to win it, right? But
yeah, to be fair though, Christopher Bell signed up for this race, so nobody had a prayer.
I will say I look forward to seeing the day where we run optional tires. If you look back at Bristol, was it last year, where that Bristol race was absolutely wild? I think we could use a tad bit tamer than that, but give me that. Give me constantly
you might even stay awake for the whole race.
Yes, I did. Oh my goodness. But that's
too busy dancing.
That's what I want to see. I want to see guys that have to manage their equipment again. That's
Yeah.
And again, I think it was a step forward for sure, because Phoenix is normally a boring race, and I liked it the entire day. So
I think it also would make it more of a team sport if it puts more strategy on the team to actually do something during green flag laps.
I agree.
Am I saying that correctly?
Poor Briscoe.
But man,
That's not your strategy and James Smalls and Coochie.
Why don't you just come in here and take a break? I think you could use a snack.
if we keep doing this option tire, though, Fox has got to get their act together. They were so lost yesterday. They had no idea who was running what, and they changed the graphic halfway through the race. How do you It's just wild.
Fox is bad, man.
Actually, I noticed it early in the race. So Joey gets his penalty, right? He goes down pit lane and he comes out, and they're like, "Well, he's ahead of the car, so it looks like he won't be 2 laps down." It's yeah, he's still on the lead lap, not 2 laps down. He's on the lead lap.
Yeah,
and I was like, if you don't know this, how in the world are we supposed to know this? It's
Yes.
yeah.
And then in the
Sounds
end of
more like
stage,
Kevin Stahlbaum in the booth than Kevin Harvick.
man, I think Harvick's the only guy doing a decent job, in my opinion. I know you don't like him, but man,
No, I switched completely over on that now. Like,
okay, because
yeah, I agree with you.
and Mike
100%.
Joy, like making a big deal at the end of stage 2, but I think it was Ty Gibbs and might have been
Eric Jones.
Eric
Or
Jones.
Nevenchak, whoever.
Fighting for the lucky dog, and he's making this big deal of it, and then Fox just switches to like the leaders, and he's like, "Oh, and Ty Gibbs gets it," and like no one
Yep.
even like it's just man,
Yeah.
so bad.
That's, I mean, I'm just because you threw his name out there, but Nemechek outperforming Jones every week so far, as still in the top 16 in points. Kid's having a decent year for considering the equipment that they're in.
I will say,
I'd
he's
like to see
doing
him
better
in
than
the
I thought.
19.
You'd like to see him in the 19?
Yeah, I honestly would.
I assume with a different crew chief.
Yeah.
Okay.
That wasn't on the script, so we'll have to cut that part out. But thanks for your opinion. Just kidding. All right,
Still a
guys.
jerk.
But what about the Joey incident though? You guys think that was a good call by NASCAR penalizing him?
100%.
No.
Oh,
100%.
I think yeah.
if you have to slow it down frame by frame to see if he might have touched the line, like,
I don't
No.
think they did.
No, he did for sure.
So
I-
here's where I had an issue: is the car behind him did it too, and they didn't penalize him. I have an issue with that. But I think
That's a NASCAR trait.
because if you
great.
because if you don't call it, like they had that right on the broadcast. If you don't call it, then it just keeps getting pushed and
yeah.
pushed and pushed, right? And then all of a sudden it's they're playing favorites with Penske or whatever. I think you gotta if you've got
You
rules
said
like
They
Hendrick.
didn't call it. Nobody knows they didn't call it because nobody saw it. Like, it
Well-
was that close that, like,
maybe, but
no, it was. Like, you literally had to slow it down to see it.
But again, if that's a rule, I'm glad they
Well,
did call it,
somebody's
because
seen
if
it.
it's supposed to be a black and white rule, then
And that's
it
the
wasn't.
thing.
It was
like,
Joey Logano. He was leading the race, and they still called it on him. So props to NASCAR there. If they're actually, like, you want consistency.
and we'll see it if it happens
Exactly. But
with another manufacturer.
oh,
Well,
Toyota
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they want to make Michael Jordan happy.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, I don't think that's high in their priority list right now, and
All
that's
NASCAR cares about.
yeah.
I will tell you, it's got to be awkward and intense. Like at times, I'm surprised we haven't seen anything yet where I'm like, oh, NASCAR is definitely putting pressure on them. It seems to be decent enough. It seems to just be staying in the courts, but
You know what's awkward? Doing
That
a
is weird.
podcast with a guy who lays on a couch like Kate Winslet. Paints me like
It's-
one of your French ladies. That's awkward.
all right, we're gonna
I'm pretty
move
sure the
on.
line is French girls.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so if you're gonna get it right, get it right.
I didn't
Yeah.
rewind that part 90 times and rewatch. My apologies.
All right, guys, we're gonna move on. Corey, what is your standout of the week,
My standout of the week,
other than me
I
being
mean-
on the podcast? Because I know.
and it's hard not to give it to Christopher Bell. 3 in a row is not an easy thing to do, but got to give it to him. But also, I mean, Larson as well. He took
Can't take them all.
No, but I'm giving
Standout
it to
is
Christopher
one.
Bell, but I got to give Larson props just because he probably had maybe a 12th place car and he brought it up to third. So that's encouraging for me being a fan for the rest of the year. But they showed a graph, I think, medium lap time. They show it on Twitter or something, but the only 2 guys who would have been on the lead lap with all their times was Christopher Bell and William Byron. Larson would have been 2 laps down, and he still got it to third place. So,
Wow,
yeah, I'll take it.
that's fair.
But
All
again, Christopher Bell, yeah, 3 in a row, definitely the standout of the year so far, let alone the week.
Absolutely. Evan?
I think I got to give it to Josh Berry. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but guy finished 4th. Out of Penske prepared cars, his is not the one that I figured would finish super well. So kudos to that guy. Just goes to show you that, get the right guy in the car and things change. Like, this is a car that ran absolute trash for 3 years now with Harrison Burton behind the wheel. I don't know if they've done anything crew-wise or anything over there,
Dude,
too.
he's a Daytona winner. Speak better of him.
No, I think I've said all I need to say. So for me, I think it's Josh Berry.
Yeah, it's been running well.
All right, Don.
I'm going to go Alex Bowman, believe it or not.
No, I don't. Believe it.
I
Seems
was
like
waiting
a
for
joke
this
is
to
coming.
turn real sour.
No, he's put out a consistent year so far. He had the Xfinity race. He, ended up finishing second in that. People are kind of dogging on him. And then where he qualified in Phoenix, people were, he's out of there. And then pulls off a 7th place finish.
Somehow avoided a wreck.
It
Like,
was
I
like
don't know
27
how.
and in the poll or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he should have been caught up, and he wheeled his way through that like nobody. So, props to him for keeping it going. And every year it's the same thing, who's coming up to take his spot. And it's been Justin Haley, he's the next thing. And you look at how Haley's performed, and, Bowman's just, I hate to say it, but it looks like they're building. You know what I mean? Like they have been consistent and they're keeping it going. And that car should have DNF'd and he should have been hurt, but he did a great job yesterday. So props where they're due. Figure this
Donnie,
episode.
you're really turning into the bigger man.
Yeah.
A bad standout, though, is Toyota with their brake issues.
Do I not get one?
That's a cause for concern, I think, throughout
Right.
the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Who was it? Gibbs and Bubba?
Gibbs,
Two.
Bubba.
Is there another one, too,
Oh,
wasn't there?
I feel like there was.
I don't know.
Who's your standout, Marilyn?
Yeah, well, I'm getting to her. Was
I
that
just have to
going to be your
wait for all the
standout,
men to
Marilee
talk.
Toyota? I'm sorry. I
No,
took
she's
your
going to make
standout.
fun of one of us, so I'm sure.
I'm not. I wanted to give a shout out. My standout of the week is my best friend, Jen Hunter, who
Name it,
faithfully follows you guys, even though I don't really fully understand, and comments every week on your post. And she has gotten it right 2 out of 4 times, I guess. She's called the winner. So she's my standout.
She'll be the next one on the podcast.
She's willing
We've let
to
everybody
record
else
if
on.
you do it a little bit earlier.
If we do it earlier,
Yeah, it's too late.
What, 8 o'clock isn't early enough for her? May
I might have said later than that. I can't remember. I don't want her to take my spot.
Corey, for back-to-back weeks, man, it's your segment.
It is picks. Loser does picks. I guess I'm the loser this week, so picks for Las Vegas. Donnie somehow got the win. He was pretty much crying there when Byron got put a lap down with the pit strategy. Green flag pit. Yeah, pits.
I wasn't too disappointed anytime
Oh, no,
Byron screwed up. I was
Would
willing to
have
give
gladly
the point away.
sacrificed the point,
Yeah.
eh?
So Donnie gets the win. That brings him up to 2 points, tied with me, who also has 2. Evan has 1, lost his pick with Ryan Blaney. Oof, that one had to hurt a little bit.
That one did
blowing
hurt.
up,
Imagine throwing Blaney away at Phoenix.
right? Like I got
That did
2
hurt.
points with Blaney so far this year, but
Hey,
hey,
that's almost as bad as Hamlin at
It's rough.
Daytona.
And not
Maybe
only
even-
like barely got beat, but like 20-some laps down. Like,
Yeah.
destroyed.
and
I
Mr.
do want to say I owe the tiebreaker, so I am in first.
Yeah, okay, I was waiting for that, but
Yeah.
Anyways, Kevin Stahlbaum is still shut out.
Who is
He's
Kevin?
trying his best, but hey, it's his first year.
Did you guys
Mind you,
replace
I
me?
did have a point by this time last year, but hey, who's really came score?
You guys,
Actually,
you guys are keeping score.
actually, I will say Kevin is very on the ball with keeping score. He's very quick to get that done.
Yes, he is.
Not so quick to make his
That's the only
picks. But
thing
anyway,
done,
Results
but-
from Phoenix. Donnie took Byron, came in 6th. Kevin with Joey Logano in 13th. Evan with Blaney in 28th. And I couldn't even get better in 28th finish. I came 38th. So not good for Corey, but hey, it's a new
At least
week.
you didn't waste a big name on it, right?
Not
Yeah.
a decent name. Nothing
Yeah.
too serious, but all right. Pick number 1, Donnie Johnston.
I mean, you gotta be crazy not to take Christopher Bell. So luckily I'm crazy and like Kyle Larson.
And 2 points for Donnie this week, so no one else really matters. And that's the podcast.
Yeah, you think so?
All
So
right.
my last episode too, and I'm on top. Like I basically retire as champion.
Man.
Really, do you have Kevin's pick?
Kevin phoned in his pick this week.
I do.
Kevin phones it in every week.
Kevin said Ty Gibbs. I feel like
Gibbs.
Oh.
So
Did you ask him who his pick was or who his favorite driver was?
I didn't ask him nothing.
Kevin just wants
Oh,
to
okay.
host the point segment next week.
Yeah. Oh, because he's going to be last. You mean? I like it.
all right, Evan, who are you taking?
I am going to take Mr. Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch. Both Kyles running this week.
Well, he's got
Yeah,
3 top
he-
10s on the year, too, and he won here 2 years ago, his first year with RCR, so let's see if he can't find some magic.
And I don't
Yeah.
think so, but
I don't think so either, but we'll see.
I mean,
I'm gonna
yeah.
take the one guy who might give Larson a race. Well, Christopher Bell might be up there too, but I'm gonna take William Byron.
Well, I'd like to throw my
Marilee, who are
proverbial
you
hat into
taking?
the ring.
17.
I was having a hard time deciding. I was between, Rusty Wallace, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Gordon, and I
Wrong
just
era.
Kevin Harvick. I couldn't really decide. But I think
Rooster for sure. Gotta go Ricky.
Ricky Rudd, yeah. I think I'm gonna say Christopher Bell, not because I think he's gonna win, but just because everybody's like, "Oh, should have taken Christopher Bell," so I'm gonna do it. And in
4
the
in a
off
row,
chance
eh?
that he wins or I win, I get 5 points.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's fair.
Oh,
So, who was the last guy to win 4 in a row? I wonder. Has it ever been done
last
since
guy to
like
win 4 in a row, I think.
Petty? Didn't
Kevin
Yeah.
Harvick?
Did Kevin Harvick win 4 in a row?
NASCAR
Yeah, he-
actually had
He
an
did it the same way that Bell, like he didn't win Daytona and then he won. next-
Okay.
Or no, that was only 3, my bad. Who was it? It was Bill Elliott.
Yeah, I
Jimmy
think you're right.
Johnson was
I
the
do
last
remember.
driver to capture 4 straight
Oh,
checkered flags
that's
in the
Jimmy
Cup
Johnson.
Series, doing it down the stretch of the chase and essentially sealing up the championship in the
Yeah.
process.
I thought Fox said it was
Bill
2007.
Elliott did it the first 4 after Daytona.
Oh, okay.
Like
So
basically,
you want the
Bell-
exact same.
if Bell did it, then he'd be tied with Bill Elliott for that.
Good shit.
Yeah, it's something. I will say, I think, and I'd have to double check this, but I think Adam Stevens is the only crew chief to do it with multiple drivers.
Who
Which
was
is-
the other driver?
Kyle Busch did it a couple times with him, actually. 2018.
Who else
maybe
did he
only
do it
once.
with?
Maybe only once. Well, he did it with Christopher Bell.
You said 3 times, so.
No, I said he was the only one to do it multiple times.
Oh.
Imagine
With multiple
replacing.
drivers, I mean.
Imagine replacing Kyle Busch with Ty Gibbs.
Kevin Stahlbaum had decisions in that, it sounds like. But I mean, like, give me the same thing said about this podcast. Imagine replacing me with Kevin.
He
Like,
didn't.
You did.
No.
Evan. I know what happened behind the scenes.
Follow me.
Do you?
We decided the man bun just wasn't the demographic we wanted people to want on the pod. So
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to discuss before we wrap it up?
it was very nice
NASCAR
having you
related?
on here, Marilee.
You missed it.
Was.
I will say that.
Thanks for coming back for my last episode.
If I stay, will you stay?
It'll be discussed.
It'll be discussed.
We'll see how the points shake out this week.
Okay.
I just really wish one of these seasons we would do contract negotiations mid-year, like in the off season,
Or
instead
even
of
not on the pod, right? Like, if,
like, yeah.
Just do
like
what
I
I can.
said, Natalie won $200 sweepstake last year. We've yet to see any merch show up, so until that does, I'm off the pot.
I'm pretty
I've
sure that
also
was
yet to see a list of
Tyson.
what she wanted.
All right, I'll send that over.
To be fair, we didn't even post that last episode.
Seriously?
Oh, it was really up in the air last year. Oh,
Evan
okay,
was
Why
not
am
in
I
a good
doing
spot.
here? Why am I back?
Let's
Any
take
of
us
it?
out and then you can have a conversation.
what?
Let's
Really?
take it off air and then you can have a conversation.
Okay, so you want me to do the outro? Is that what you're saying?
It says outro in heaven, but it
before you
also says
fall
we're heading
asleep,
off to
we want you to
Phoenix.
get
So
through this.
Well, to be fair, Marley, you're the producer, so what you say goes.
I'm not the producer.
You are for this week. All right. Well, listen. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening. Also, thank you to Marilee and Donnie for showing up as guest segments. Really appreciate it. We're looking forward to Las Vegas this week, where I'm gonna somehow get 2 points with Kyle Busch. But nonetheless, make sure you check out all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you
Great
follow.
graphics.
Right. Wherever you listen to your podcast or watch your podcast, make sure and follow or subscribe to those channels so you get updated every week. And we'll see all of you except Donnie again soon.